Pro and anti-live animal export protesters took to the streets. A historic deal was made to ensure the future development of James Price Point. Thanks for watching.
Also in the news, 3 dead and 50 injured in a traffic accident in Hong Kong. And a survey discovered Hong Kong citizens want more free-to-air choice.
This is the Evening News.
Good evening. Major protests between pro and anti-live animal export demonstrators came to a head in Fremantle as the topic of animal welfare heats up in Australia. Despite minor arguments between both groups, the police did not arrest any activists. Alexandra Mollo has the report.
This is how hundreds of people protested against live sheep export on Sunday. But it wasn't too long until those who supported made their way into the rally, leading to chaos against both groups, where police had to take action as some protesters physically blocked a truck convoy that supported live sheep export. As the protest started, supporters gathered below Stirling Bridge, while those opposing animal trade rallied above. Export rally organiser Michael Trent, who defends the agricultural industry, doesn't agree with people opposing live sheep export because it would force stakeholders to buy elsewhere. However, he highlights that animal torture and slaughter is not what they're fighting for.
We're just as big a supporter of chilled meat industry, no problems with that, but if the customer wants a live animal, that's what they'll get. And I mean, Australia, the Middle East is the biggest chilled meat market for chilled meat from Australia. It's also the biggest market for live animals. So if they don't get them from us, they'll just get them from other countries.
Meanwhile, animal activist and Stop Live Exports coordinator Katrina Love believes the aim of the protest is not only to raise awareness among the public, but to encourage the government to determine export alternatives that neither affect the industry nor animals' welfare.
We're not trying to shut down the farming industry or the pastoral industry. We're just trying to shut down the cruelty that's inherent in live exports, and we think we can actually get an industry, an expanded chilled meat industry in Australia that is the best in the world and that actually offers those people dependent currently on live export a much more reliable and stable income.
According to police, more than 2,000 people attended the rally, and although there were confrontations between both sides, no arrests were made. Alexandra Mollo, DHK News.
The state government has forged a groundbreaking deal to ensure the future of the proposed Browse LNG precinct at James Price Point. It's an agreement that sees both the project going ahead and the environment protected under stronger restrictions. Kristian Dwyer has more.
The Minister for the Environment, Bill Marmion, today gave the go-ahead for the Browse liquefied natural gas precinct just north of Broome at James Price Point. In the wake of 244 appeals, the government has come to somewhat of a compromise after a 4-year impasse with the Environmental Protection Authority. Each appeal was investigated by an independent appeals committee and resulted in a comprehensive review before any construction would take place. The minister backed up the agreement, brandishing better protection of the environment through strengthened conditions.
Because we've actually strengthened them to protect the, as you say, the less damage to the monsoon vine thickets, the greater protection for the dinosaur footprints, greater involvement of the traditional owners, and in fact most of the management plans require consultation, greater consultation with the traditional owners.
And basing his thoughts on the agreement on his own life experiences, the minister believes that having the one site north of Broome will also help to minimise environmental impact.
In terms of the location, that's the benefit of having one site. As some of you know, I lived up there for 3 years, so the benefit of having one site is you don't wreck the whole area, so you actually confine development to one site, and I think that's a sensible approach, provided you've got strict environmental conditions around what you do there.
The agreement follows 3 weeks of discussions with Minister for Mines and Petroleum, Indigenous Affairs, Lands and Transport. Kristian Dwyer, DHK News.
Police are appealing to the public for information about 2 boys from Forestfield who've gone missing. 8-year-old Denver Philip Brockman was last seen when he was put to bed at 8 p.m. last Friday, while 12-year-old Clifton Prosser was last seen the following morning. Police believe they are travelling together, and there have been reported sightings in Maddington and Forestfield after they disappeared. Anyone who has information of their whereabouts should call the police on 131 444.
WA Police Minister Liza Harvey has marked the World Remembrance Day for road traffic victims by paying respect to those who died on our roads. The Minister also has urged the community to take responsibility by obeying traffic laws in an effort to reduce the number of road fatalities in the state.
Last Sunday marked World Remembrance Day in honour of road traffic victims killed on Western Australian roads. 179 white crosses at the St George's Cathedral represented the number of lives that was lost on WA roads in 2011. Last year in WA, 179 people were killed and about 2,400 were seriously injured due to road traffic accidents. Road Safety Minister Liza Harvey advised the public on a few pointers as well as safety measures that should be adhered to.
Don't drink and drive, and they stick within the speed limits and pay attention to what they're doing. Don't be distracted. Now, all of these things working together, we can reduce our road toll, but we need the community to partner with us on this. The government can only do so much.
Some factors that might have led to road accidents could have possibly occurred because of busier economies that leads to more activities and the public taking more risk as a result of being in a hurry, as well as fatigue due to the long distances travelled, especially in regional areas. The minister said that the crosses hopes to serve as a reminder to the public about those who lost their lives due to road accidents.
It's a reminder to people. This is also a day where we remember and pay our respects to the people who've lost their lives, and also remember their families who are no doubt still grieving, and also to the people who are coping with the serious injuries and the trauma that falls out of road accidents.
Timothy Seow, DHK News.
Here's Sarah Miller with what's coming up on DHK's Current Affairs program, WA Tonight.
Good evening, I'm Sarah Miller. Coming up on WA Tonight, we'll bring you the latest on the Luke Adams case, and will David Beckham join the Perth Glory? Back to you, Ivan.
Thanks, Sarah. Remember to stay tuned. Moving on, at least 3 dead and 50 injured after a shocking traffic accident involving a taxi and 2 double-decker buses in Hong Kong. The bus driver responsible is now charged with dangerous driving causing death, but has been released on bail pending court. According to Hong Kong police statistics, until October this year, there has been 96 fatalities in road accidents, and a staggering 1,887 people received serious injuries.
The shocking accident occurred at 11 o'clock on Monday morning at Chai Wan Road in Hong Kong. The 53-year-old taxi driver and both of his passengers died instantly. 50 others are injured and a male passenger is in serious condition. One of the passengers told the media that the bus driver fainted without warning. The bus first smashed 2 vehicles along the way, then veered towards oncoming traffic, crashed into another bus and sandwiched a taxi before coming to a halt. The force of the crash could be clearly seen on the taxi's wreckage, with the vehicle parts spread across the pedestrian way. Police said they will investigate the causes of the crash by looking into whether the vehicle has mechanical defect, human error and traffic violations. The bus driver responsible is now charged with dangerous driving causing death, but has been released on bail pending court. Queenie Lee, DHK News.
The latest opinion poll conducted by the Community Development Initiative discovered that a majority of local citizens want to see more choice of channels in Hong Kong's free-to-air television. The survey comes after ATV staged a protest last week, standing against the government's plan to issue another licence.
The survey has interviewed more than 500 local citizens, with 85% of respondents that they want the government to issue new free-to-air television licenses. 7 out of 10 respondents are disappointed that the government still didn't make a decision after more than 3 years' worth of discussion. So far, the free-to-air television market is occupied by TVB and ATV. Local experts said the survey results indicated that residents are not happy with current situation. The discussion towards free-to-air TV licenses heated up after ATV staged a protest outside the government headquarters last week, standing against the government's plan to issue another license. Godden, Choi, DHK News, Hong Kong.
And finally tonight, Perth Lord Mayor Liza Scaffidi has unveiled Perth's water sculpture in Forest Place. The water labyrinth was exclusively designed and has created an interactive family attraction in Perth CBD. It's understood that the system will use stormwater harvested and recycled from Forest Place.
It's a harmless, fun way. Water doesn't hurt anybody. It's going to be, you know, a point of fun and laughter and a nice thing to look at for people who are sitting around the edges of this rejuvenated Forest Place.
Of course, it's a long process. It's like 3 years old. We're working with a team here from Perth, and it's been a long, sometimes difficult, but when you're coming and for opening like this and you just see people running in, having fun and smile all over, getting wet, then it's everything worth, of course. It's fantastic.
And that's how the world looks tonight. I'll have updates for you later.
Thanks for watching, and here's Sarah Miller with WA Tonight. Good evening.
Good night.
Good evening, I'm Sarah Miller, glad to have you with us. For the next 2 weeks, I'll be taking over hosting duties from Kristian Dwyer as he goes on location in Tacoma, Victoria for WA Tonight.